So I'm sure you're watching the Olympics, and neither am I. Nobody's paying attention to these. They call them the Wokyo Olympics because they're in Tokyo, and everybody is so woke. They've got men competing with the women. They've got people who hate their countries representing their countries, and it's completely uninspiring. We have women who basically, that one woman, Simone, what was her last name? Giles. And I've even forgotten the gymnast who stepped down, and we were supposed to think that was so brave of her to give up. And again, I don't blame her for what she did if she felt that she couldn't compete, but I don't have to celebrate it as championship action either. This whole thing, this whole pushing of woke agenda through the Olympics has just alienated me and everybody else. However, there was a lady who won the women's wrestling, Tamyra Mensah, her name is Tamyra Mensah, who was so happy and so grateful and so patriotic. She's wrapped with the flag around her. And just this video went viral, and I just absolutely love it. Here it is.
Of course I surprise myself. It's by the grace of God I'm able to even move my feet. Like, I just leave it in his hands, and I pray that all the practice, that the hell that my freaking coaches put me through pays off. And every single time it does. And I get better and better. And it's so weird that there is no cap to the limit that I can do. And I'm excited to see what I have next.
Last question for you. That American flag around your shoulders looks pretty good. How does that feel to represent your country like this?
It feels amazing. I love representing the U.S. I freaking love living there. I love it, and I'm so happy I get to represent USA. Love it.
Well said. Congratulations. Enjoy that gold, and we'll see you out there on the podium, okay?
Thank you. I'll try not to cry, but no promise.
It's so great. You know, I sometimes get, not that often, but I sometimes get emails from far right-wing, hyper right-wingers, I don't even know what to call them, telling me that I'm not bigoted enough, that I actually like the fact, I love the fact that I live in a multi-ethnic country where, in theory, we're united by the ideals of the Constitution and the Declaration. I love that. I just think that is the next big thing. And that's something that, you know, in theory, I would agree with the left about, except the left always makes things worse. They just always want to go back and hammer away at the racist ideas and keep us separated by race. But I love the fact that the people representing us come from all over and are just represented by their freedom and by that flag and by that beautiful idea that has brought us together. But beyond all that, beyond the fact that this is the girl you want on your Wheaties box, this is the girl you want representing America, beyond all that, who do you think is living their best life? Who do you think is living a happy life? Seriously, is it that woman that you just saw with that incredible smile on her face? Or is it purple-headed, angry, entitled girl, Megan Rapinoe, who just feels that we owe her everything, that feels that she has the right to kneel during the national anthem, and even if she's representing her country, but she doesn't have to like it. You know, we have to like her, but she doesn't have to like it. We saw her, their team, I guess, won the bronze. The soccer team won the bronze. I mean, soccer's not a real sport anyway, but they won the bronze. And we were rooting against her. I was rooting against. I was, you know, when they lost to the Swedish team, I thought, here's a bunch of pretty Swedish blondes beating these angry, mean, purple-haired, entitled people. I thought, why should I root for them? Why should I root for them if they're not rooting for me, if they're not rooting for my country? I've said this from the start when people started to kneel during the national anthem in protest, in some kind of Black Lives Matter protest. I thought, wait a minute. What you are saying is that you are not being treated fairly by American values. You're saying that people are violating American values in your particular life. Why then would you alienate your fellow Americans who are the keepers of those values? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Are you an American? Are you a proud American who feels that you have been cheated of American values? Or do you not want to be a part of the country at all? You've got to make that decision. You know, when Martin Luther King said we have to live out the meaning of our creed, a lot of white people went like, nah, no, he's got a point there, right? But if what he has said is take your creed and stuff it and take your country is really all about racism, you've got racism in your DNA, then I think like, oh, well, if I got racism in my DNA, to hell with you. You know, the difference between me and the left is this. The left has given up on Black Americans. They do not think that Black Americans can accomplish in America what the Jews, what the Irish, what the Italians, what the Nigerians, what the Jamaicans have all accomplished. They have given up, and I have not. I believe that Black Americans, African Americans have seen a lot of racism in this country, but they can do anything just like any American, and they can do it because they're American. And when I see that woman with her gratitude and her godliness and her joy and her thankfulness, I see somebody who's happy. And when I look at Megan Rapinoe, I see somebody who is miserable. It is just a question of how you want to live. Your attitude defines everything. And if you have the attitude that I am an American and therefore I can accomplish anything, there is no end to what you can accomplish. And if you have the attitude that you're entitled to something and people aren't giving you enough, and to hell with you, you are going to be a grim-faced, nasty, purple-headed jerk like Megan Rapinoe. A beautiful, beautiful girl, Tamara Mensah, wonderful to see. She wins the gold medal for America as far as I'm concerned, whether she wins or loses.